Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is Global War 85, Operation Warthog, Soviet Global Command 5.3. Okay, here's tech, PGM, Advanced ASF, Advanced Sonar, Advanced Airborne. Looks like 3 yeses. So the fellas in the Lubyanka motivated some people to get that die rolling under control. So we got PGM, Advanced ASF, and Advanced Sonar. So PGM goes to stage 2. Advanced ASF goes to stage 2. Advanced Sonar also goes to stage 2. So we made some good progress there. Okay, next step is global operations. This time PRF is going bold. They're putting the insurgent in Sudan. Whenever I mentioned the options they had left last time, I forgot to mention they could also put an insurgent in Djibouti. But they've decided to expand outward, because all this would do is if they PRF took over Djibouti, that NATO ASW chopper would have to come off the board because it wouldn't have a legal airbase to operate from. But they're going to go out here because if they can get Sudan, well, of course, they can not only threaten Suez, but also Zaire, Central African Republic, Chad. Chad gives them a direct line to Nigeria, possibly. If things go that long, who knows? But they're going to try Chad for now, or Sudan. And then diplomacy, they once again are going to spend 2 to have a total of 3 dice to try to entice Saddam Hussein to coming over completely to their side. Okay, military aid and purchase. For military aid, make sure, let me check my notes and make sure I'm saying the right thing. Yep. They are spending, what is that? 4, I believe it is. Yeah, 4. On a pair of SAMs for PRF. Iraq, they're spending 8 on, I believe it's a fighter and an attack chopper for Iraq is 8. For Angola, they are doing 6 for an attack chopper and a field artillery. Cuba, they're going to spend 5. And they have their advisor deployed to send Cuba an SSN, and I believe that's also a field artillery. No, that's a light infantry. Cuba gets a light infantry and an SSN. That would be 4 and 3 is 7 minus the discount of 2 makes 5. And as I said, they have deployed their advisor to make the delivery legal. All right, that's it for military aid. And then for purchase, they are spending 4 battle stars and 2 IPP for a minor airbase upgrade, 6 on a pair of light infantry, 7 on a destroyer and a diesel boat. Okay, combat. There is going to be one combat this turn. Over here in the Indian Ocean, the Soviets, on behalf of their PRF brethren, are going to launch a retaliatory strike against the American fleet that has been launching airstrikes against PRF. So this SSN is going to move one space from I-7 to I-11, where it's going to shoot 2 anti-ship missiles into I-7. Up here in I-6, the cruiser and the destroyer are each shooting an anti-ship missile into I-7 for a total of 4. With spy satellite support, as you see, I just knocked a whole bunch of stuff over. With spy satellite support so that they have full target select. Now, there aren't any air units involved. This is strictly a missile attack, so there's no scramble for the Americans, but yes, the Americans have completed AMD. So they have a cruiser and 2 paired with 2 frigates is 3 shots, and they have 2 ASFs in the fleet, and they get 2 more AMD shots for those for a total of 5. So we'll see what happens here. Okay, so we have 5 AMD shots by the Americans. They shot down 1 missile. So 3 anti-ship missiles come in with target select. And look at that, they got 3 hits. 3 target select hits. Okay, well here's the American fleet right here. So it would be a bold move to put all 3 of those hits on the supercarrier and try to take the American air power out of the equation. They're not going to, though, because that would involve failings. They're going for sure kills. They're going to reduce their missile defense by taking out the 2 frigates, and they're going to reduce their offensive missile capability by killing the destroyer. Yeah, that hurts the American. It does. They just lost a whole bunch of capability. Now, what I've been wondering is, does this count for battle stars? Since they inflicted casualties, does that count for defeating a task force? I don't think it does, because they're not forcing the Americans to retreat. So no, I don't think there's any battle stars earned here. Okay, that's it for combat. So non-combat, we're going to have some of that. Okay, first off, these 2 light infantry in Afghanistan slide down here to eastern Iran. Then the guys here in Shiraz, with the exception of the mech and 1 spag, The mech and one spag are going to remain behind to garrison Shiraz. The rest of these guys are moving over here to join their Iraqi brothers in Basra. Since there's a defense treaty there, they are able to, the Soviets are able to move into and occupy, or they're able to move into and share that space with the Iraqis, since they have the defense treaty. And then also, this MBT 1-2 into Basra. And the light infantry will stay behind. Okay, that's it for that one. Now, all of the air is going to move over here into Baghdad, which is this card right here. It's not a joint base. They can't launch any attacks from it, but they are able to fly in and land there. And what they're going to hope for, of course, is a successful diplomacy role. For right now, all the Soviet air moves in there. Okay, that's that one. Next up, we'll just take the camera around, since we're going to have to move around this way anyhow. Okay, the paramilitary and the SAM from North Caucasia are moving down here to South Caucasia. There's that. Now, we're going to have some shuffling of submarine forces here in the Atlantic. Okay, this diesel boat in A34 comes down here to A38. The two SSNs in A26, 1, 2, 3, also to A38. Then the two SSNs in A3, 1, 2, 3, to A26. You see why the Soviets didn't declare war this turn, because they wanted to break a couple more subs out into the Atlantic while they had the chance. So from A9, 1, 2, 3, 4, over here again to A3. And I believe that's going to be it for non-combat. So as you see now, the Soviets have 2, 4, 7, 2, 4, 3, yeah, Soviets have 9 subs total in the Atlantic, and they're delivering a 10th sub to Cuba as military aid. So we'll see if the Soviets are able to add that to their forces as well. All right, I believe that is it for non-combat. Let me make sure here. Yes, I believe that's it for non-combat movement. So now we are placing units. Okay, we'll start off here. 2 light infantry get built in Afghanistan. Then the destroyer and the diesel boat are being built at the major shipyard there in East Ukraine, so they'll go into M11. I had to get a card for that one because it was getting a little crowded. So, destroyer and the diesel boat go onto that card to increase the strength of the Soviet Black Sea Fleet. I think you would agree that they now have the NATO Black Sea Fleet outnumbered. And then the airbase upgrade is coming over here to go to Western Ukraine. The Soviets now have 5 major air bases. Okay, that's that. So now we need a recruitment role for PRF. There's still 1, 2, 3, 4 land zones. Oh, wait, nope. Messing up. Messing up big time. Diplomacy role. Gotta see what Iraq does. Well, there it is. They had 3 chances and hit on 2 of them. So, whoop, 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 whoop. Celebrations in Baghdad. Military pact with Iraq. So I will change all that stuff out off camera. That's 3 more added on to the Soviet income to take them up to 43. And now all that air that just flew into Baghdad has an air base they can operate from. Okay, so now we go to the recruitment role for PRF. Nope, missed it. Okay, now we are delivering aid. So PRF is getting 2 SAMs. They're tired of the Americans picking on them. So they're going to double their SAM strength on the Indian Ocean coast here. Try to deter those nasty Americans from coming in there and trying to bother them. All right, and then, as I said, I'll change these out off camera. Iraq gets a fighter. And an attack chopper. It's going over here on the Army card. Okay, there's that. And now we have Angola getting an attack chopper and field artillery. Not declaring war this turn also gave the Soviets another chance to deliver this heavy military aid without having to worry about sea lanes being blocked. And then for Cuba, they get the SSN and a light infantry. There's the light infantry. And we're going to put the SSN over here on the big map, and that will be in port. Yeah. Yeah, better make that in port. Okay, that's all military aid delivered. And collect money. As we said, the Soviets are now at 43. 40. And 3. Since the Soviets shot all 4 of their anti-ship missiles, their inventory is now 0 on those. And I think that'll do it. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.